Do you guys ever find yourself stuck, unable to move forward, repeating the same day over and over and over again? I do. I do sometimes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so you can stay up to date on all the videos that I post. I post every Friday. If you guys are new, welcome to the family, welcome to our community. On this channel, I like to talk a lot about ideas for parents on communication, social emotional learning, connection, stress management, and so much more. So if you guys find those topics interesting to you, I urge you to check out some of my other videos. When we're feeling a mental rut, it's really easy to get stuck in this pattern of thinking like nothing is ever going to change. And I used to do this all the time. I used to go through phases in my life where I would just be stuck and unable to move. I would be depressed, in a constant state of negativity, always thinking about the worst to come, and in the past tense as well. Some days feel the same, and some days I feel more unfulfilled than others. I used to want to change something about my life, but I never knew what it was. I felt like something had to change in order for me to take this next step or to take this leap. When I was in college, I was studying for a degree in biochemistry, and I hated it. I hated going to classes. I hated, doing the work. I felt like there was nothing there. There was no motivation behind it. And so, when I first started out, I was super excited. It was new. It was something interesting. It was, something that I liked to do, but I didn't see myself doing in the future. And as I started getting closer to this goal that I didn't really want to achieve, and that I knew I didn't want to achieve, I started seeing myself slacking. And ultimately, even after achieving this goal, I decided to take a leap. I got into a period in my senior year, so close to finishing. Everyone was looking for jobs and looking forward to the next phase in their life, and I just felt so stuck. I had also been going through a period of emotional stress with my family, and a lot was going on, so I had that in the back of my mind as well, and I just felt like I needed to take a step back and really look at my life and what I wanted to do. And I mentioned this in a couple of my other videos where I found writing. I found writing as a way to look for my voice. And so it was that key moment where I realized that if I didn't want to go into that phase of my life, or I didn't want to be stuck day in and day out going for this goal that I didn't really want and that would never propel me forward closer to achieving my dreams and really living in my passion. I knew I had to take a leap, and I knew I had to make a decision. So that may be a similar situation for you. Maybe along your journey of parenthood, whether you're a mom, you're a dad, doesn't really matter. Maybe along your journey, you have found yourself just living every day the same. Maybe you found yourself fulfilling this prophecy that was never meant to be yours. Maybe you feel like you have something more to give, but you're not sure what it is, and you really don't know how to get there. If you feel like you've lost meaning, if you feel like you want to make a change, but don't know how, this video is for you. So like I mentioned, along my journey, there was a critical moment where I had to realize that in order to make this change, I had to leave something behind. And a part of this indecision that we face when we're stuck in a rut and we're not really sure which path to take, it's very normal. It's normal for us to feel like we're losing something if we take one path. That's ultimately what indecision is. It's when we're so stuck that instead of choosing left or right, we choose nothing. And then we stay still. We don't move forward because we don't make a decision. And, part of that comes from the fact that we feel discomfort in moments of change. We fear that discomfort. And so we just keep staying stuck. Some of us might refer to it as the idea of perfectionism, where we just can't be happy with a particular decision because it just doesn't feel right. But it is that feeling of discomfort that makes us not want to change and keep moving forward. And it's true for most people that we're just blindly following those decisions. We're going on autopilot. We go to college because it's what society tells us to do. We get this degree and go to this mundane job because that's what we're told to do. We get married and have kids because that's what we're told to do. And then later on in life, we have this midlife crisis, or, we go through this period of like, where am I? What am I doing? How did I get here? And it's so common. And it's a feeling that a lot of parents get because in the society that we've been conditioned, most people in this generation where, the parents are right now, we're starting to realize that this is not the only option. These choices that we made in the past are not the only way that we can move forward. A lot of moms and dads becoming entrepreneurs, starting their own businesses, especially during the pandemic. Like, this is a time for people to realize that they can focus on themselves and really start looking forward to their passion, because everything can be done online and things are so accessible. But what can we do when we're stuck in a rut? When we're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, when we're not really sure about our circumstances, when we're feeling like we want to change but we just don't know how. The first step is to realize, when do these feelings come about? When do you get stuck in this period? How are you feeling? Where are you going? What are you doing? So these are the questions that you can ask yourself and physically write them down in order to get a clear mental image of where you are and why you're feeling this way. This is a cognitive behavioral technique that is used to get out of that negative thinking pattern. So the next thing we need to do is find the source. So what area of your life are you having trouble? What area of your life are you willing or committed to working on? Or what area is causing this discomfort? So is it romantically? Is it your family situation? Is it your job? Is it your health? So all of these factors are what we can look at when we're trying to decide where we need to take this next step. And sometimes it's really tough to figure out. So the next thing we need to do is take care of ourselves. And this is probably one of the most important things. And I remember when I was going through this period of my life, where I was really struggling to figure out what I needed to do in order to take this next step, or to make that decision that I knew I needed to make, but I didn't want to make. I let a lot of myself go, really. I wasn't taking care of my health. I wasn't taking care of my mind. I wasn't looking for people who supported me during the process. So I was looking to all the wrong places. And I lost a lot of weight, and I was just not myself, or not the person who I wanted to be. And so we really need to seek that compassion for ourselves and acknowledge where we are. We need to understand that this is a process. Like most things in life, it's a process and it takes time. And we need to take care of ourselves in order to not only stay focused, but to have the energy to make these actions and to take these next steps. So the next step is about taking action. And here's the problem with taking action. Most of the time when we're stuck in a rut, like I explained before, we have two options. Maybe we have even more than two options, but even when we're stuck with two options and we're not sure which path to take, we oftentimes just don't take either path, and we remain. And we just repeat day in and day out the same things, the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same actions. And so part of moving forward is about taking action without thinking about the consequence. Because at the end of the day, failure is not taking action and then being upset about the consequence. Failure is not taking any action at all. It's not the situation itself that causes us physical pain or emotional discomfort. It is actually a perception or the meaning that we put on that situation. So it's always in our head. So no matter how big you think you might fail, it's never going to be reality, if that makes sense. It's all going to be in our head. So what we really need to do is take action without thinking about anything that's going to happen, as long as you're not putting yourself or anyone in danger, obviously. But we need to make these small decisions, small discomforts in our day-to-day lives in order to reach that next goal. So if we have a grandiose goal that seems unattainable, we need to start with smaller things, smaller steps to take that we can, move forward and progress in this ultimate goal that we have. And by doing so, we can just change our routine up. So if it's about waking up a few minutes early, or taking a cold shower, or making a little bit more time for yourself to work on yourself, learn more, read more, do more. It's about just doing it without thinking about it. And I learned about this process of the 5-second rule. So sometimes when I really don't want to do something, I give myself 5 seconds to do it. So when the thought occurs in my mind, I give myself 5 seconds, and it really helps to counteract that unproductivity. So say if it's washing the dishes, I do this so often where I'll think about doing the dishes, and then I'll give all these excuses about, I can do it in the morning, I don't really feel like it, my head hurts, something of that nature. And so what I started doing was giving myself 5 seconds to physically do it. It is about those small things that work up to this larger goal. And at the end of the day, what we really need to figure out is how we can be honest and accept the fact that once we get to these bigger decisions in life where we'll have to ditch a certain path, we have to be honest. What are the positive things about leaving this goal but achieving this goal? And then do it for the negative. What are the negative things about doing this goal and leaving this goal? And then you can compare. Whichever one leaves you with less regret, that's the option that you should take. And that's what I try to live by when I'm making larger than life decisions, or seemingly larger than life. So just to recap, today we talked about how we can get out of a rut and the 3 steps that we can take in order to get there. Before I end today's video, I just wanted to quickly announce that spots for my one-to-one are opening up, and I'm going to leave that in the comments down below, as well as the link to my website so you can learn more there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always, and I hope you got some use out of it. And stay tuned for next week's video because we're going to be doing a part 2 of this. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.